I'm Okina Blue, and this is the Anime Roundtable Stream Edition. Yeah, it's been a little bit. Friday evening, July the 10th, 2026. You see the boxes behind me. We'll get to those a bit later. Yeah, it's been a little while again. It's been, what, 4 weeks now, I think, since we last streamed. About what, 2 weeks now since I put up anything. I'm trying to remember when William Moo did the podcast episode with me a few weeks ago. That was let me just check the date here. June 20th. Okay, I get it. That was a couple weeks ago too. I think that was what? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to see now. 1, 2. That was 3 weeks ago as well. Oh yeah, nice haircut. Petite Yuzumikan, nice haircut. I may have to wear my glasses just to be able to read the text now. Yeah, haircut today. Funny story about that. Okay, now that you brought it up. Got my haircut today. It's a slightly special occasion, I guess. I actually held off on getting a haircut because I wanted to do this at a family friend's place near my parents. And I go there this morning, and the person who does, my friend, who's a wonderful Vietnamese lady, she just said, "Your parents were just here." Turns out they had their hair done and haircuts and hair done there within the last hour before I got there. So I didn't mention anything about to my parents about going there today, but I felt obligated afterwards to at least go and visit them and say hi. And the visit ended up being a little longer than I hoped. Been that type of day. It's been lots to do. There's been lots going on over the last 4 weeks since we last chatted. So that's why I haven't been able to do anything. Truth be told, I had to clean up a little bit just to make the place look even remotely presentable for this. You do, as I said, you see the... Okay, oh, this camera's not working well. You see the stuff behind me. We'll actually get behind and get to the bottom of what's in these bags a bit later on. So, and there's a story behind those. Are they heavy? No, they're not heavy. They're not heavy at all. You'll find out why. So there's that. Yes, there's been, and that's the heart of what we're going to be talking about today. I do want to finally open these and show these off just a little bit and give a hint as to what's to become of them a bit later on. I do want to acknowledge a few of the headlines in the last last week or so, maybe couple weeks. And just to touch on them, I know we'll talk a little bit more at length of them, about them when we get the others around the table. I'm actually going to be meeting the bulk of the roundtable crew for brunch tomorrow. That's another story, and maybe that's a little bit too much information, maybe. But essentially, I think we can plan out what we'll eventually talk about here. For reference, and since I brought it up on the stream and we did bring it up in passing with William 3 weeks ago. So I'll just acknowledge some of this now, just to get it out of the way. And who cares, right? I did mention last time I was gonna see the live action version of 5 centimeters per second. There it is. So there's the review, and here's a review for it, I guess, from the Straits Times. As I said, as much as I enjoyed the movie, yes, its length will probably be of note to people. It is a 2-hour-long movie, and the original anime film was an hour, so we're doubling it, which means you kind of, go deeper into the characters a little bit more. And right now names are a little bit murky to me, so I would have to double check. So I'd have to just try to get myself a little bit more in place, I guess. And honestly, I've forgotten a lot, some of the more subtle details. Takaki, they delve a little bit more into Takaki's pain throughout this movie. But it is a watch. My conclusion was always, it's always worth the watch. Whether or not you end up liking it or not liking it is always up to you. I can assure you, at the very least, it doesn't live action Cowboy Bebop things, so it doesn't really take those type of liberties where it could possibly change a lot of the entire plot. Maybe if they're, at best, if you have some lingering questions from the anime version, and I admit I probably would need them myself now and rewatch it, or I probably would want to rewatch the anime just to see if there were kind of holes that I would have had. Maybe the live action movie would have filled them in for you. One thing we didn't bring up, we didn't bring up in the podcast recording in the Space Heater with William, is that the cinematography was pretty lush and pretty beautiful. I guess if you're gonna go one for one with Makoto Shinkai, you had to get the visuals correct, and they were pretty good. They were really good. It's worth the watch, just for the just for the sake of the comparison, not for the NASCAR crash, but yeah, if you had that chance to watch it, do so. And that leads to the other thing we talked about in that episode, in the Space Heater. How the hell do you get a chance to watch these things? Because getting those chances are a little bit few and far between when it comes to a Japanese movie. But something to think about there. Okay, I guess it's a perfect time just to acknowledge some of these headlines while we're at it. And let me know if you can't hear me, by the way. Where do we go? Yeah, just a quick follow-up. Yeah, since William and I talked at length about the Crunchyroll Awards and the idea that something more domestic in Japan would eventually come up, it's happened. Or more like it's been announced. There you go. Wit Studio, and I forgot the name of it, the name of the award itself. I think they call, oh, there it is right there, the Tokyo Anime Next Awards. They haven't officially announced it, and I guess we'll learn a little bit more about the details. This was announced officially during Anime Expo last weekend. So there's a key part. So that shoe has finally dropped concerning the criticisms of the Crunchyroll Anime Awards and the idea that maybe something more domestic in Japan itself will come up. I guess it's about to. And I guess we'll learn a little bit more about that as time goes. I just want to acknowledge I'm aware of being aware of the story. I haven't really read too much more about it aside from the headline itself. It's fascinating. We kind of knew it was coming anyway, so we'll see what ultimately becomes. I guess another bit to talk about, $71 million. The Japanese government will endorse AI translations with such an investment. The whole idea is to get things out a little bit faster to fight anime and manga piracy, I guess. I know some people are up in arms over, well, why not actually why not actually invest in people to actually translate instead of using AI? I get that story. Once again, I want to learn a little bit more about this, but I'm aware of this headline as well. Yeah, it's a bit baffling, I guess. Maybe they're looking for I guess it's a quantity thing over a quality thing, I guess. Just on the first blush of whatever little bit I've read about this story already. I know people are not exactly happy that the money will go more into the AI side as opposed into the people side. And there's room to suggest that there's nothing more scary than cheaper. This could end up, like, in the long run, is this really cost effective? That's the other thing to wonder. And I think we're going to start to learn I think over time, in the next little while, that is this actually is this actually a value proposition? Is the use of AI that much more cost effective? Because there's a thought out there that's making that suggestion. Well, maybe it's maybe we'll see the time. Maybe we'll see the costs bear out over time. All right, on the topic of a personal interest, yes, the Blue Box manga ended this past week. Chapter 250 brings the story to a conclusion. Shonen Jump has it translated into chapter 249, so presumably we'll get to see the official English translation of the end of that this week, or this weekend, because they usually put out chapters later on. I haven't read it, I haven't really, I let myself get spoilered on some of what I know has happened. Truth be told, I'll probably not read it digitally. I'll probably read them as the volumes actually physically come out. Because I've actually been collecting the manga. So, well, in English. So maybe I'll actually enlighten myself into knowing the true details or going through the story more thoroughly afterwards. Give me a sec here. I know somebody has shown up. Oops. I know somebody else has shown up. Hero Harmony, hey, what's up? So I got a couple people watching. Thanks for oh, and Amethyst Stylek, and I know I'm pronouncing that. Good to see you as well on the stream. Okay, so there's my train of thought right there. We'll just let me just quickly, get back to this. The Blue Box manga has ended. I guess it's 20 plus volumes, maybe 21. We'll see how the continued adaptation of it goes, because this, as you can see in this window, there's a official trailer for season 2, which will premiere, I guess, in the fall. So obviously I'll be personally looking forward to that. One other headline that's come across and that us on the podcast have been talking about internally. There is now an open casting call for a live-action version of Naruto about to happen. So there's a global casting search to find the actors to play the three of the main characters: Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. So there you go. This is mentioned in Variety. I know Amy has stated it would be a travesty or a complete punch in the face of some sort. I'm not using the exact words, but I know it would be an insult if they don't go with somebody of Asian background for most of these characters. So I'll be curious, and we'll see how long the development goes. I guess we'll just leave it at that. On that note, I didn't get a chance to put this up. I know I received a notification within the last 48 hours. The Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie will make its way to Crunchyroll sometime, roughly July 28th, so towards the end of the month. Finally, we'll get the chance to see a non-theatrical release of the movie. So there's that. I know there's a couple of other releases. Oh, the 10th anniversary release of Your Name. I think they're going to re-release that in theaters as well in the near future to celebrate 10 years. I guess since we talked about it last time, when we last talked 4 weeks ago, we had talked in the opening days since the World Cup. We're now reaching we're halfway through the quarterfinals. Earlier today, Spain beat Belgium by a score of 2-1, so that sets up one of the two semifinals, Spain and France. That should be fun. The other two semis go tomorrow at the World Cup. And I'm just looking up exactly what time those quarters will go. 5 p.m. Norway and England, and then the nightcap at 9 p.m. Argentina and Switzerland. That'll set up the other side of the bracket for the semis there. That should be fun. Just a thought for the three co-hosts. Basically, I think it's safe to say Canada did as well as expected. I think many are. If you could have said that the Canada would have bowed out in the round of 16 and win at least one knockout game, people would have taken that on the outset. Sure, with the way things had gone, we thought, they could get a little further. But you always hope that they could have gotten a little further, but that's the way it goes. Mexico, the U.S., I think hopes were high that they could have gotten into the final 8. So there's disappointment there, to be sure. Although the way it happened, the disappointments are on different planes, I guess, when you talk about Mexico and the U.S. And that's more for regular sports punditry to want to talk about it. Amethyst says, if they want different actors, change the characters' names at the very least. Just like calling Major Kusanagi just the Major, right? I still have not seen that live action attempt at Ghost in the Shell. I'm not sure I want to at this point, but that's just me. So there's that. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the stuff on the mind in terms of the headlines. Not exactly the deepest dive. Maybe I want to at least learn a little bit more about those stories before we go on. But these are at the heart of what I wanted to talk about tonight. First of all, I'm not going to, just a quick spoiler, everything you see in here are figures. There's a story, but there's a story there tonight, or with them. And we'll get to the stories as I open them up. So aside from the haircut today, I also met up with my best friend, and we met up at a nearby IKEA from here at 6 Points. And if you probably will figure out exactly which IKEA we're talking about if we're talking about being here in the 10 minutes south of the Anime North compound in the Toronto West End. So yeah, we met up at IKEA. And my friend wanted to buy some French doors some glass doors for some Billy shelves he has at home for the basement. And he said, I'll explain why. He said, I'll show you a picture why I wanted to do that, buy these glass doors in a minute when we sit down for lunch. And we had lunch later on at a Vietnamese restaurant nearby. The picture he showed me was basically, he had his Billy shelves. He collects figures too for his basement rec area. And that's what he wanted to do, buy glass doors to safely case his figures. He has this a little bit more well thought out than I do, I think, with my figures. If you look above, you'll see still some blue box stuff. We have to figure out a way, I guess, at some point, or maybe a rearrangement, who knows. But in the meantime, I guess I just still wanted to get some figures because maybe they spark a little bit of joy in me. Or they're just a temporary dopamine hit. Hence the stuff you see here. Anyway, that was his encouragement with, he has me thinking about those type of things, obviously, especially at this point in my life. But for now, maybe I just want to enjoy the chase and get the figures. Truth be told, I already have a good idea. Well, I have a good idea what's in everything, but I've kind of seen what's already in this bag because this is my haul from Anime North, or the stuff I actually bought. And we're going to open each of these one by one. And as I said, there's a story and a reason. You sort of know why, because I've hinted at being fans of many of the titles and the stuff that I've mentioned here. We're going to open these up. And truth be told, I haven't had a chance to look in here since Anime North. There's a few items. So, yeah, there's stuff I should look at and stuff I should dig out because I haven't really cleaned up or emptied out stuff since Anime North as well. Although I'm looking for my AN lanyard here. I guess it's not in this box. Maharaja, Mac Daddy, Oceans, do you live outside Toronto? Although TNT is by Square One and Erin Mills. You do live outside Toronto, although TNT is outside Square One and Erin Mills. Well, okay. Okay, Oceans, yes. Oceans is one of the major Asian supermarket chains in this area. Well, I'm in Nations country. I'm somewhere in between. I'm somewhere in between because Nations is a little further east from here, maybe about a 15-minute drive east of here. But if you go further into Mississauga itself, and this is actually closer, there's a supermarket called Grant's in the Bloor and Dixie area, and Grant's is actually the discount chain and the predecessor of Oceans and Nations. They're related. It's sort of I almost call it the no frills of Oceans and Nations, right? Because they don't hold the full selection that these two brands would have, but it's a good enough selection for the area that they're in. And I think I think as a supermarket, as a name, it predates Oceans and Nations. So before they went a little bit more, mid-tier, I guess. That's the lower tier. It's Nations lower tier. It's Nations and Oceans lower tier brand. But and I think if you buy from Grant's and ask for a shopping bag, essentially this is the shopping bag they'll present you. Truth be told, said best friend who I just talked about gave me these bags because otherwise he would have tossed them, and they are reusable and they were useful in this case. So that's the story behind the bag. Thanks for the tangent, helping me with the tangent and giving me something worth talking about other than what's in the boxes. Okay, so the first item. As I said, I sort of knew these were all here. So I've mentioned. Oh wait, let me take off the price tag first of all. I mentioned reading and watching these titles in the last little bit. So so everything is related to anything we've talked about, or I've been talking about here, either on the podcast or in the streams. I was a little late to the game in watching The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses, because that anime came out, I think, 3 years ago in 2023. The manga ended. I'm trying to remember when the manga ended, at least digitally. I was tempted to buy the physical copies at some point, but I haven't. Okay, so the manga digitally ended on Manga Up almost a year ago in early August. So, I've read that through. I've enjoyed it a lot, so I want to get something from it. So I got a figure of Mie on her, basically sitting on her glasses. I want to get another. There was another one I want to get, but it was out of my budget. But this one might be looked kind of cute. And as I always maintain that Komura and Mie, I think, might be within the last 5 years, might be one of the more cuter couples in these type of rom-coms. And right now I would put them on a similar level with with Teasing Master Takagi-san and probably even going further back, Lee and Sakura from Cardcaptor. So there's the one. The other I got from the Navito World, booth. And it's an Nendoroid. It's my first ever Nendoroid, but I mentioned I'd been a fan of, was it Days with My Stepsister? So I got an Nendoroid of its main female character, Saki Ayase. So that's the second item I got. Paid a fair amount for it, I admit. And then, what can you do? No real regrets. I guess the dopamine rush hasn't totally worn off yet. So those are the two items that I know of already, and then we'll open up the other stuff in a bit. I am so tempted to buy the physical copies of Fullmetal Panic's light novels. The super duper late catch-up on season 3 and 4 has made me realize its rabbit hole goes deep. I have those. I have the hardcover large copies of the entire Fullmetal Panic versions. The short stories I only have 2 volumes of. There's a 3rd volume I know that came out a few years back, and that's my catch-up list in there. Story behind that. I actually got the big volumes 2, 3, and 4. For a long time, they didn't have a print copy, and I was late to getting them myself. They didn't have a print copy of the big volume 1, and I waited a couple of years to get that. And they reprinted volume 1, and I was able to get it, so my collection, for the most part, is completed. And hopefully, Hero, you can get those in just at some point in the near future. I'm hoping I can still get the hardcover of the short stories. I'd been so out of the loop that I didn't know. I got the first 2 when they came out, not too long after they did. The 3rd one I didn't know. I didn't even know there was a 3rd one until I started looking at my wish list. And hopefully I'll be able to try and obtain that a little bit soon. The collector in me, and be nice to find space, is sort of in that. So let's see, how many are in the chat at the moment? The usual. Okay. So anyway, those are the stories there. I do want to get to these before we're done. 28 minutes. This stream is going a lot shorter than I thought, or isn't going at the speed that I thought, more like it. So I'm just seeing if there's anything in the I have 2 streams. I am watching both versions of the stream, whether it's the like the multi-stream, whether it's the Twitch or the YouTube. Nobody's watching on the YouTube, so everyone on Twitch, thanks for popping by. You know, we don't really promote this stuff anyway, so this is more for my own memories, I guess. OMG, yes, that's exactly what I want. As I said, good luck in getting the books, the black cover ones. Hero, are you aware of the short story versions? I'm just wondering if you're aware of the short stories. Those are, I think that Fumofu, the comedy season is based on the short stories, right? Which the comedy stuff is actually was hilarious. I do want to get some time to read some of those. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Okay, so which one do you want me to open? Okay, I know where these came from. They both, I don't know exactly where these 2 boxes were from. Oh, they're both from Japan in some form. Okay, so do you want me to open the DHL or the other one? And both are related, by the way. Both, like the items in both are related to each other. Because I know in each box there's 2 items. So which one do you still want me to go with? The small package or the larger package below it? Let me know. Ooh, I thought the Volume 2 collection covers Fumofu. Do not quote me. I'm not sure. Come on, give me an idea which way you want me to go. Do you want me to go with the DHL? Come on, majority vote wins. I'm going to give you a minute here. Maharaja has already told me to go DHL. Come on, anybody else who... Or does somebody want to be a contrarian voter? We're going to go top to bottom here. I know what's in both. I have an idea what's in both. Yes. Okay, so you're kind of indifferent, Hero. I know somebody else is. I know there's 2 others here. I know there's 2 others watching in this. Does Petit Yuzu Mikan or Amethyst have a thought? Or are you 2 just lurking? I guess we're just going with the DHL. You're doing the... Oh, Amethyst. My opinion is the clacking is annoying. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You know me and Blades. We don't usually mix. Remind me though, I gotta find my Anime North lanyard badge because I think it's... Oh, here it is. Here. Okay, it is in the bag. It is in the bag. Okay, and some items that I had been looking for are actually in here too. Okay, I have to look through these a bit later. There's some stuff I got from Anime North I hadn't looked at yet, and not related to merchandise, just connections, and I want to look at those a little bit longer. I'm going to take off my headphones Fine, I vote for the one that is yellow on the inside, if applicable. It's applicable. I just wanted to take off my headphones because I know the headphone wire had been going across the microphone just for a bit. We're going to start with the DHL. You must want to torture me. Maharaja, because this one's going to be a pain to open. Because we have to take off the. Oh, and yes, I did pay the. Oh wait. I'm trying to remember if there was a duty on these. I don't know. Anyway, DHL's kind of known for that. Anyway, we're going to try to open this. This one will be a little bit more of a pain to open because it's initially it's wrapped in this plastic here. And, you know, my father will tell me, aim the blade away from you, or at least so it's not aimed towards skin. Yeah. Just try to cut the stuff off here. Well, at least enough so that we can open this more safely. I know, I could just rip it all off, but rip off the whole. I get it. Every time I watch your stream, I want to buy new mics. I don't even need lavs. I podcast myself. Yeah, I am wearing the DJI my DJI mics. My regular mics. I'll show you the Shure right now. I'll show you where the regular Shure I use is right now. I haven't reassembled the Shure mics since Anime North. So it's just one of them is sitting beside the television here. I haven't reset the stand yet to put that back up, and the cords for it are still in the suitcase that I usually drag around whenever we do the podcast at Anime North. So I just haven't had time to do that. For now, I think it's just okay if we do it this way. When we do something more extensive, yeah. Anyway, box out. Nice wrapping job here, I have to say, to whoever sent this. I think my chance to give a review to this guy is not there anymore, by the way. And they're somewhere in Japan, I think in Saitama. But yeah. Interesting wrapping job here with the box. I use my 3D mics just to cope, and my phone port is busted. So it brings me untold pain and restarts. I just invest in some half-decent equipment. Hopefully the mic is working out fine for people who are watching this, to be honest. Okay, let me open this up. By the way, my best friend has looked at the wallpapers I use right now on my phone and is asking me about some of the titles. This is the same best friend, by the way. I've joked around on the podcast. His daughter is into Miku. He has a daughter who's into Miku, so I always make the joke about, come visit Anime North and see some live action Mikus. Or real life Mikus, right? I almost lost a DJI mic on day 3 of Anime North, actually. It was instantly found by lost and found staff. Good for, as I said, I always like to say this during Anime North. You see the best of fandom, the good side of fandom show up there, right? Most of the time. Then you see a lot of stories of phones constantly getting stolen at these type of things. They ain't fans. I'm just saying. Anyway, all right, let's open this up. As I said, I know what is in here. I mean, they take a lot. Like, this is the same place I bought the Blue Box figures that I said I got last year. So I know they put a lot of care into packaging it. This is clever. It's clever. It's clever. This one's just a little bit more clever. That's the word I wanted to use. But the care is still there, and the actual items that this box houses are bubble wrapped. So good. So it's really, really cool. And as I said, the items themselves are related because they're from the same title. And how How many saw? The other reason I don't buy a lav is I might buy a Rodecaster Duo though to reduce my studio footprint. Yeah, and I have a full-on Rodecaster, which we use for remotes. I use a Vocaster here, and then this microphone is actually hooked up to the receiver for this microphone is hooked up to the Vocaster. So because I only use it, you know, whenever I use it here, it's either for streams or for doing space heaters. If we do a regular episode with more than two of us, it's either done remotely or rarely do all of us do. And at that point, we crack open the full extent of the suitcase and bring out the full Rodecaster Pro, which is a Generation 1, by the way. Okay, do you want me? They're still in the bubble wrap. Do you want me to? Well, it's kind of pointless now because the bubble wrap has served its purpose. So give me a minute here to take them out of the bubble wrap, and then I'll actually show you what they are. Okay? You okay with that? Give me a sec here. Nothing like a little spark joy here. How do we cut through bubble wrap properly? Oh, I should text my best friend and tell him I'm actually online. Okay. Just continue here. I should probably oh. We'll do the other one. Let me open up the other one here. And this one I'll probably learn to be a little bit more careful with so as not to... Yeah, this one's probably going to come out a little bit easier, actually. Okay, so I can now show these off. Both of these are smaller figures. And they're the second two I use a Rodecaster, and my studio mic is an Electro Voice RE320. Okay, cool. I use a pair of a Shure, an MV70, I think it is. Let me double check, and then I'll show these off. I have to be sure of what model I have. This is the microphone right now. Okay. I keep forgetting exactly what model this is. It says, oh, it's an MV7X. That's what this is. And it just has a regular Phantom or XLR, I guess. Some more advanced ones have both XLR and then a USB option in the back. And some are even fancier than that. And those are the ones you often see used for the high-end podcasters. I don't have that type of budget, especially after I bought 4 of these. Anyway, let me set that aside. I keep mentioning, well, you guys know I'm a fan of, I don't like the Shures because I hate needing phantom power. Fair point. Sometimes that can be a real pain. But they work out fine for the way we do things. I've always used phantom power stuff myself, but there you go. Anyway. I just wanted to quickly get to these items. You guys know that I'm a fan of The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten, so the 2 figures here that were in this box are related to that. I've always wanted to get a typical version of Mahiru in her regular school uniform. And of course, if you know the story, you know there's a significance in her having the umbrella, because it was the vehicle by which Mahiru and Amane met, or started talking. So there's the first item, and this is from season 1. The other item is what came out, and this is from Taito. The Bandai Namco figure that I got, and this is also from the same title, but this is from season 2. This is her Mahiru in a summer dress. I told you I got a large one that's sitting up way above on the shelf now, of Mahiru in a fall getup. But there you go. So this is her in a summer dress. This is featured, I know, in one of the episodes of season 2. So, kind of a nice look. It's just sorry for the boring tech talk. Got it, Jet. Just popped in to say hi. Maharaja, you're always welcome here. Good to see you as well. Sorry I'm not on often. Life's busy. I'm sure you know that too. Is there a spring and winter one too? In terms of uniforms, Petite? Using Mikan? There's a bunch of figures. I just know that one. Oh, are we talking the uniform, or are we talking more the uniform? Or are we just talking outfits in general? I mean, let me... so high up. I don't want to try and reach for that figure at the moment. Outfits. I don't recall right now. I'd have to look to see what pictures of figures there are for Mahiru to be able to get a better sense of that. But I get the feeling 3 of her is enough now. So I'm happy to have these. So that's 4 of 6 down tonight. So I got a fall and a summer outfit, and well, I don't know. How would you describe that other outfit? I don't know how you describe that other outfit. I wouldn't really call it a winter outfit, or maybe you could. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the outfit itself. Like, how would you describe this? Because this is her. Like, when this scene happened, it was in the fall, right? Like, the original story kind of goes into the fall. Like, it goes 6 months into their lives. And then the second season basically is the other 6 months in their lives. So that's set immediately after, right? The anime series ends in what's volume 8, which ends up being, it's got fall vibes. This one, yes. What's up, pigeon-headed Kifa? I'm glad to see you. Yeah, this is the fall vibes. This is the school uniform. Okay, I'm gonna reach up. Give me a second. If you hear a crash, this stream is over. But I'll let me get the other outfit here. It's kind of large in comparison, but just so you guys know what this looks like. How would you describe this outfit? It's fall, I guess. Ish. Or is it winter? Yeah, fall. Okay, there you go. Thanks, Petite Yuzumikan. I'm going to put this back up. Once again, if you hear a crash, call 911, please. There you go. So there's the story behind that. So those are 4 of 6 down, which means we're the last box, right? The last box. This has like a full Japan Post thing on it. As I said, I feel really bad because I've taken so much time to open these. The chance to leave a review for these guys on eBay may have passed, I fully admit. But you know, let's just see what I can do. Well, let's open these up and then just take a stock of what's in these boxes. I just want to get the dispatch off for a second here. Oh, I think I see a message. Hello, Mike. Are you taking guesses on what? Oh, I know what's in here. Do you want to take a guess as to what's in here? Okay, take a guess as I start to open it. It's always related to stuff that's I talk about on the show, on the podcast, and other streams. So it wouldn't, like, anything in here wouldn't be totally out of left field. Obviously, okay, I'll show you the two other items I got because I know you're late to the stream, I think. You know I watched Days with My Stepsister, so I got an Android of the main female character, Ayase. And I got this from Navido World. So, and I know Pigeon-Headed will know that. It is my first Android, yes. And then you know that I've been a fan of, recently been a fan of the girl I like forgot her glasses. So I got a little figure of Mie perched up on her on a mock-up of her actual glasses. So there you go. So those are the items here. Compared to this, in comparison, I'll give you a clue as to what could be in here. It's closer to mainstream within our fandom than probably these IPs would be. I want to take a guess based on that clue. What could these be? As I try, I'm going to rip off, I just want to rip off the shipping label first, which is probably, or maybe I'll just take it out of here first. Yeah, I'll just take the shipping label out of its little clear envelope first, and then off we go into break it. Then we break it down. And remember, like my father would say, point the blade away from me. Still any more guesses, Pigeon? Something Demon Slayer. I like it. By the way, so Crunchyroll, if you didn't know, just to repeat it, Crunchyroll did announce that Infinity Castle will be on the streaming service roughly July 28th, by the way. So it took long enough, I guess. No, it's not Demon Slayer related. I will tell you that now. And these items, once again, they're packaged nicely in bubble wrap, which is a lot to toss out, but obviously it's a nice thing they did it for the customers. You don't like seeing damaged items, of course. Something Demon Slayer. Yeah, unfortunately it isn't. So I'll pull the items out and then just unwrap them from... Okay, did anyone get a clue just from me pulling those out of the boxes? They're still in their bubble wrap, obviously. Miku something. Very good. Very good, Pigeon-Headed. Wait, did you get that based on just seeing the box for a couple seconds there? I'm just wondering. Just, yes. Good eye. Better than my eyes these days. I need glasses sometimes to watch. Well, you're right, and and there's a story behind them, these items, so I'll tell the story as I show them to you, okay? But let me just pull these out of their bubble wrap. Good eye, but that's a good eye. Well, okay, do you think you can be more specific? I'll give you more further points if you think you can get if you think you can get exactly who it is. Sir, I am legally blind. Oh, your eyes were still better than mine at that moment, at that second. My nerdy senses were tingling. Well, think about where you are, which stream you're watching, Pigeon-Headed. Okay, I'll tell you the story. Yes, I mentioned just now that my best friend's daughter is a Miku fan, so she's a big Hatsune Miku fan. enough that she's drawn her a few times, and she's she's a teenager now, I think. And I've seen some of her drawings, and they're not bad. They're actually pretty. They're not bad at all, really. And she's enough of a fan. And once in a while, I'll pop quiz her on just some Miku stuff. One day when she was visiting here, I asked her to just for an opinion. I showed her 2 pictures of Luca. I just asked her point blank, "Do you know who Luca is in all of this?" And she nodded her head. She doesn't really talk too much to me. So basically, anytime I've had a conversation with her, she just nods or shakes her head. And I showed her 2 pictures of 2 possible figures I could buy of Luca. And I asked her, of the 2, which one do you like? And that's where, and she pointed at one, and well, I liked it. I always liked the outfit anyway on Luca, so that's the first one I got. Kind of a dressy look, right? I know I want to get it. I know there's a Miku in this particular series, and maybe that's something for my best friend's daughter at some point in the future. Hopefully he doesn't see it and blows anything to her, blows any spoilers to her in the future. So there's that one. But I did say there's 2 figures. So the second, and as you might guess, I said they're all related. The items are related. The other is another Luca figure. Okay, so the company behind this one, this is a Sega. They're both Segas, but from different series. So this is considered a super premium. I don't know that stuff. I don't really know the differences, but I just thought the outfit was nice. And by the way, the other one is not the other outfit that I was thinking about, but I get the feeling I'll want to get that at some point too. If I get that, I'll show it. I'm not going to tell you what the outfit looks like, and if I'm able to get it, then you'll see it, obviously. I've only got Taco Luca plush. There you go. Yeah, I think I know what you're referring to. I'm just not familiar with the term. The other one is also of Luca. So we go dark, we go light with the other. So there's the 6 items. Oops. Excuse me. There's the 6 items that were in the... And now I fully opened everything. Thank goodness. So those are the items that are... those were the items that were inside the boxes. Inside the... what we have here, right? So that's as much as I wanted to do. I don't know what else to mention. Yeah. I'm meeting up with my best friend. He has it all set. He has a shelf for his little figures, and he's a nerd in a different way himself. So he has little models and figures as well, and he seems to have a place for them. I'm not so sure about myself. I still have the Optimus Prime and the World Cup trophy sitting somewhere behind my chair there to still assemble, and those are still things I would like to do. It's a large bucket list, I guess. But maybe I'd like to think I have a little bit more time to be able to do any of those, but can't really start on it tonight now, can I? So that's the story behind all of this. I know that as we did this stream tonight, it was almost sunset. Sun has gone down. It is now nightfall here in Toronto. So yeah, it's just kind of nice to have ended the daylight that way. As for what's going on in terms of upcoming plans, who knows? There's still stuff I wanted to talk about to play in terms of video games. Just don't have the type of times at the moment. I just texted said best friend to let him know that I was doing this. My best friend said he's out at the moment, so I guess I'll just have to watch the replay, or I'll just tell him about it later. Anyway, I'm glad I was able to get a little time to finally open that, because they've been itching, sitting here for a little while, and I didn't want to open them because I want to share the joy with you, with anyone who is willing to watch it. Yeah, there's a lot going on out there. Latest seasons have begun. I'm still trying to, in terms of the watching and reading, there's still lots of stuff I gotta catch up with. Yes, I did finish up watching the end of season 2 of Angel Next Door, so I'll just hold that up as a prop. Thank you. I did finish up watching that. It was not as dramatic as the first season. I think that anybody who's kept up with that story, you liked the drama that the first season had. The will they or won't they? Will they have? And that's what season 2 kind of explores, their new reality in that as a couple. It's kind of them and I think the whole season was that, adjusting to that their new reality. So there's, don't know too much else to say there. But yeah, that's the upshot of the season. It doesn't really add too many new elements to the plot line of the series. There isn't as much drama. Maybe characters that we had yet to see, they make a small appearance in the season. There are other characters other people who are mentioned we have yet to meet. And maybe we will, if there's ever to be a third season, we'd like to be able to have a chance to meet them. Some characters that are introduced, you wish they fleshed out a little bit more. Don't know how it compares to the light novel, to be quite honest with you. So I gotta actually start reading that, and hopefully not throw any water on it. The couple stay further away, so there's that. I did say I was watching. I'm one episode away from finishing Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses, and once again, since I brought that up, I will hold this as a prop again, just to talk about that. I'll probably watch that in a bit after the stream and after I've cleaned up a little bit. So as I said, when I do a stream, sometimes I have to. It's a bit you can imagine there's a fair amount of clutter in here. It is a bit clutterific. It's sometimes to the point where it's a bit hard to get the streaming table that I use, where this camera and the computer is lying. It's actually I actually have to do a small amount of work to be able to get things just presentable enough to be able to do this. So that's why streams are few and far between, and quite honestly speaking, life is just busy, right? Yeah, life does get in the way. No, we're not paid to do any of this. This is all just for fun, right? I mean, that's what most streamers tend to do, or tend to be. We don't do this. Many of us are just doing this for fun, as a job, as a hobby. Yes, there are the select few who get a chance to do this more for a living. And as I said, and I've always stated, a degree of respect for that, because you become a slave to having to do that sometimes, for better or worse. And how you feel, and whether it's good or bad, is obviously based on your feelings about being that way. I'm not sure, like, the way my own life goes, the way I do my day-to-day is, well, I can't do much more. So I'll just do this when I'm able to. Hopefully, well, the good news about the streams, at least the gap this time around, is we only went 4 weeks between these 2 streams. And we barely met quota in July, or in June, by just doing a stream and a space heater with William. Glad to have done those. We're halfway through the quota here, and we'll see how we eventually fill quota for the month. We have yet to figure it out, but hopefully but I get the feeling we will. The month is only a third over, so there's that. Yeah, so I have to finish that, and then I'll see what else is on the watch and read list. There's some other personal projects that I've been working on, and quite honestly, probably because of the World Cup and this week, really, just other stuff. I have not been able to focus on those, and that's to my regret. And hopefully, I'll get back on that track a bit later on. And as time goes, maybe I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Dorohedoro, which I don't really. I'm gonna Google that. Because I honestly speaking, I don't know the reference there. So bear with me for yet another second. Yes, I am clueless a lot of the times. Okay, so I know this has a title. Wow. A horror show. A horror anime. Okay. I don't give myself the chance to watch that. To watch too many horror stuff. Yeah, I guess it's just a personal preference. Of course, this is always open to just, what you want to do. 2 seasons out on Crunchy. Yes, I've noticed in the wiki. First season came out on Netflix in May 2020. Second season aired recently as part of the last core. And a third season is set. As I said, I should really try to watch something outside of my usual comfort zones. So, okay, I get it. Maybe I should put this on my on at least my wish list, right? So maybe I will. Give me a sec here. To be quite honest with you, I'm almost done for the evening because there's other stuff going on in the morning that I have to see to. Plus, I do want a little bit of time to clean all this up, right? 2 seasons, 24 episodes. I'll put a bookmark on it. Pigeon-headed, yeah, I do have to get a little bit more outside of my own comfort zone in terms of the stuff I do like, I should be watching or give myself times to watch. Watching episodes of Drops of God, then Dorohedoro. Then Dorohedoro was jarring for me. I get the feeling a horror title would be, though. Yeah, so much to want to watch, though, whether it's a more action stuff, or maybe I should just catch up on my reading. I'd been meaning to restart and finally reread the entire Kaguya-sama myself. There's stuff I probably want to catch up on before I go to sleep tonight, though. And hopefully that's reasonably soon. Anyway, so glad we had time to be able to meet up and be able to do the openings, do a few unboxings. Okay, so I know a few of you a few went. Amethyst, Hero, Pigeon-headed, I know you're still there. Thanks for taking the time. There isn't really much else I want to add tonight, I guess. Yeah, life's a little, it can be life, as I said, has just been busy, so I haven't had a chance to really clean up the way I hoped to around here. Cleaned up just enough, I guess, for today. But I'm glad I can get a little bit of time before things got even busier for the rest of my weekend to at least spend a little time here. Okay, so I know there are a few in the chat. Thanks to Petite Yuzumi-kan, to Maharaja MacDaddy, who I know aren't around anymore. Amethyst, Lilac, Hero Harm, Pigeon-headed Kifa. I know you guys are still around. Thanks for at least sticking out till the very end tonight. Yeah, I only intended for this stream to be about an hour long because, as I said, there's just other stuff going on, and as I said, I need a little bit of time to just clean up properly, put everything back in place so that at least I can go about my regular my regular day-to-day, or at least my regular rest of the weekend. I'll try my best to catch you. Same here, hero. Same here. As I said, just life happens. But keep doing what you do. Everyone out there, just keep doing what you do out there. I know I don't get a chance to give myself time to watch what many of you guys do. I know it's out there. I know it's a joy to you. This is just as much as it's a joy to me to have a little bit of time to sit and chat here. So that's as much as I got tonight. Oh, and remind me, this is me. This is the bad version of me. I have yet to update any socials, even based on the podcast episodes we have done and all the streams we have done. So I'll try to remind myself to do that before the end of my weekend. At Anime Roundtable, animeroundtable.com. Give me a follow. Give us a follow, like, subscribe wherever you're seeing any of this, because that always helps. So and give yourself a chance to a notification so that you know when I'm able to do this again too. Which, as I said, I admit it's not as frequent as it is, but when I do, it's a lot of fun. It's a big joy to do. A bit of work too sometimes, but it's a big joy to do whenever I have time to do this. So I'm gonna clean up. I gotta toss the packaging here, and then just clean up here. And then maybe I have to go to sleep because I know I got a bit of an early start, or try and catch up on a couple of other things and go to sleep because I know I got stuff to do in the morning. So glad we had this time together. And hopefully I'll be able to talk to you in some form before, for sure before the end of the month. Enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy this weekend. It's been warm. Enjoy the rest of the World Cup. My gut is telling me I won't get the chance to do anything before the World Cup ends. One of those cultural things. Oh, I should say this much about Canada's performance at the World Cup. Maybe we need a blue lock as well. That seemed to be the single biggest issue that stuck out to me. Canada can play. It's just they can't score. They can't really finish up and score. That was the big issue. And I think if they were able to get something a little bit more earlier, a lot of the games that they did lose, the 2 games that they ultimately did lose, maybe they wouldn't have lost so easily. You know, Canada only locks in at the last 3 minutes. Yeah, sometimes that's not enough. But you know what? As I said, I kept saying Canada, I think, did as well as we expected them to, and that's worth something considering what they don't have a great history to start, or much of a history to start, much less a good one at the World Cup finals. So it was worth something. It was a good experience. It was fun to watch. And yes, I love that there was such a chance. Yes, you know what? They did give themselves a bit of a chance against Morocco too. You know, it's just the only difference is they just needed to pot their chances. Made us all a big fan. Yeah, it was fun. And anyway, if you want my takes, I guess the favorite should win tomorrow. Wait, who is the favorite going into the England-Norway match? I guess it would be England, but that striker that Norway has, you know. Argentina, you expect to somehow get through Switzerland. You know, good on the Swiss for getting as far as they have. The cool part is, Canada's losses in this tournament have only been to people who are in the final 8, right? So they lost to Morocco. They got eliminated today. That's what eliminated Canada, and they lost to Switzerland, and that's it. So maybe they were playing with house money. Anyway, got to enjoy some of that. So go enjoy your stuff too. I will see you very soon, and thanks for everybody who popped by. Have a good night.